two play against each other in summer leagues up in Auburn, New York. And Lattimore said pretty candidly, the kid beats on me. I know he's a real good defenseman.
Pop quiz for you, Quint. Who was born in Auburn, New York, sports history? There's Judd Lattimore.
Need a hint.
Abner Doubleday, who's given credit to inventing the game of baseball, was born in Auburn, New York.
There's some conflicting news about baseball's invention. I recently found that it might date back to before good old Abner.
That's long been held that Doubleday didn't really invent the sport. That's why I say credited with inventing it.
Very good. Good lingo.
Memorial Day weekend, lacrosse championship weekend. In the Division I title game tomorrow, it's Navy versus Syracuse. The Division III title won by Salisbury for the second straight year. And now in the Division II national championship game, Limestone and LeMoyne even 1-1. Are you surprised at the pace and the scoring in this game so far?
I think LeMoyne is dictating the tempo of this game, and a low-scoring game favors them. Remember, they're coming off back-to-back victories over Bryant and New York Tech, 7-6 and 7-5. They're used to low-scoring games. Meanwhile, Limestone has scored 20 goals 7 times this year. In fact, they've scored 30 goals twice. They're not used to these low-scoring, grinded-out games. This is kind of a different tempo for them.
During the regular season, LeMoyne was a run-and-gun team, putting up over 15 goals per game. But into the NCAA tournament, I think Dan Sheehan recognized we're going to have to play a different style of play if we're going to win. And he told us he has been very pleased with the patience his offense has shown in not charging to goal so much and generally slowing down the pace of the game. This is Limestone ball in the attack zone. The 5th consecutive title game appearance for the Limestone College Saints, the only college lacrosse team in South Carolina on the men's side. Their women are the only women's college lacrosse team in South Carolina as well. Starting to catch on, though, according to Clint Pitts. 19 goals per game, that'll help you catch on lacrosse, but he said now they're starting to get pats on the back and good wishes in the championship game. That didn't happen maybe 3 years ago around Gaffney, South Carolina. And a college of just over 500.
Tiny school.
It's 530 overall enrollment at Limestone College.
High school lacrosse is growing across this country, especially in Florida and Georgia. And I got to think long-term that eventually Limestone will be pulling some more local talent out of the Atlanta, Georgia region and out of the Miami, Florida region.
And that is likely where the game is headed when you talk about the expansion of the game of lacrosse. It will grow at the college level, but it is growing rapidly at the high school level, which for teams like LeMoyne and Limestone means you get more talented players coming to your school. So the question of Gaffney, South Carolina, just across the border, just think about Interstate 85 between Charlotte and Atlanta, Georgia, and there is Gaffney right on the border. And that is actually a water cooler, but it's a peach-growing region in South Carolina, so the giant peach is what most denotes Gaffney, South Carolina.
Small southern town, family atmosphere. The president of the college knows basically every guy on the team, and it's a real family feeling down there. The entire school and community of Gaffney rallies around this Saint program, so it's really been a plus for Limestone in terms of national credibility and recognition.
Well, it's not exactly like there haven't been teams from the Carolinas. Obviously, North Carolina with national championships in the 80s. Duke has a great lacrosse program. But moving even further south, and especially at the Division II level, Limestone has really been tucked away until they come to the championships. And this is now their 5th straight appearance in the national championship game. LeMoyne ball in the attack zone in a 1-1 game. Chris Moore trying to get free. Nice stick check there from Sean McQuinn. LeMoyne gets it back, though. Penalty flag upcoming. Huge collision behind the goal. Clint Pitts delivers the hit on Ryan Lewis.
Wow, that's a clean hit, too. Wobbly to the sideline. Penalties right there. This hit is clean. That is shoulder to shoulder.
And Ryan Lewis is wobbling to the LeMoyne bench. But that was after the penalty. It's a 60-second penalty against Sean McQuinn for Limestone.
Yeah, that was a slash. You got him in the face mask. See the extra man. 2-3-1 set. LeMoyne comes out, and this is key for them to capitalize on some of their specialty situations. They're getting good goaltending. Really haven't been many face-offs. In a low-scoring game, the specialty situations can really be the difference.
Both goals in this game have been on extra man situations. We haven't had a score in the second quarter. 1 minute extra man for LeMoyne. What's the setup here, Quint?
2 up top, 3 across the middle, and 1 behind.
6-on-5 lacrosse with the extra man situation for LeMoyne. 30 seconds left on the man up. Now LeMoyne looking for a shot right at Charlie Gray. Pretty easy save for Charlie Gray, although Tulowicki got something on the shot. Limestone with a chance to kill off the extra man.
Tulowicki's a guy, 4-year starter, known for his right-handed cannon. But the location of the shot basically hit Charlie Gray right in the stick. And the freshman, who's a business management major, says thank you.
Penalty released, and back to even strength, 6-on-6 lacrosse in the Division II National Championship game. Jared Corcoran in goal for LeMoyne. He was one of those recruiting fluke stories. Found him at Bridgeton Academy, Dan Sheehan and his staff, when they were recruiting Colin Knowles, who's a sophomore midfielder. But Corcoran at the Bridgeton Academy was kind of an add-on, and he surprisingly won the goalie job in his sophomore season. Off the pipe again. He's gotten some help from the cage around him as Jared Corcoran. Outlet up to Ted Run. And LeMoyne running through the midfield. Trowbridge to goal. 2-1 LeMoyne. Rob Trowbridge with goal number 19 of his senior season gives the Dolphins a 1-goal lead.
When you talk about Trowbridge, you're talking about an athlete playing with tremendous confidence, a stud between the lines. He can play both ends. He's an old-school midfielder. And Coach Sheehan warned us. He said, watch him in transition. He's so excellent at attacking in a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 scenario where he has space, where he has a head of steam. And the coach couldn't have predicted any better. Dolphins up.
2-1, LeMoyne Dolphin lead. Jason Randolph comes up with that faceoff, trying to tie it again. Nice speed and a great finish by Roger Weiss, faking out Jared Corcoran to tie this game at 2-2. We go 12 minutes without a goal, and in the span of 9 seconds, we have 2 to tie the game at 2-all.
Roger Weiss on the tail end of this play, a pure finisher. Serious speed. Josh Waite, and it's Weiss, recruited from Herkimer Community College. Paul Wareham, the longtime coach at Herkimer, said to T.W. Johnson, hey, take a look at Roger. This kid can play. He can shoot. Paul Wareham, one of the best college coaches in the nation at any level. Great developer of young men. If you watch Syracuse for years, you know, they pull talent out of Herkimer on a yearly basis.
Delby Palace for Rutgers this year.
Ditzel, the defender from Syracuse.
Just 9 seconds after that slow start, scoring-wise. 2 goals in 9 seconds. If this is one of your first lacrosse games you've seen, that is how fast goals can pile up in the sport of lacrosse. A face-off, a shot, 2 goals in 9 seconds. LeMoyne showing that patience that has helped them reach the NCAA title game. slowly working it around the attack zone. Ground ball, that'll be easily picked up by Chris Moore. LeMoyne coached by Dan Sheehan, now in his 7th season as the head coach of the Dolphins. He took over as an interim coach in 1998 when Shane Lynch died of cancer at age 28. Sheehan thought he would only coach 1 year, but he loved it so much he decided to stay on as the head coach of LeMoyne College. 6-9 his first year, and yet he said he bonded with that group of players like he never thought he would. Loved coaching more than he ever thought he would, and decided to stay on as the permanent coach, now in his 7th season, guiding LeMoyne to its first ever NCAA title game in any sport.
On their mind was last season's tough playoff loss, a heartbreaker. Been in the back of their head all season. Controversial stick check in that game cost them a trip to the national title, New York Tech.
Three to 2, LeMoyne. Kyle Reichel, with that very patient LeMoyne offense, finally saw a seam right on the goal line extended, and he takes it in.
See the tail end, Reichel with a clear alley to the cage. Just a slip by weight. Very accurate shot. You know, sometimes when you're so patient, you can fall asleep on the defensive end. Not the guy covering the ball, but the other defenders. And all of a sudden, there's a breakdown, and you're not really ready.
And that's exactly what Reichel took advantage of to give LeMoyne the 3-2 lead. About the battle on the face-off here. Chris Moore comes out of there with it for LeMoyne, but taken right back by Nick DeLonga. For the Limestone College Saints, and this is Limestone in the attack zone.
DeLonga coming up with that grounder, around 70% on face-offs. What a warrior. He was an all-Metro wrestler at the Matha, which is down in Washington, a real sports factory. He's got great balance and strength, and you can see his quickness on that loose ball. He's the catalyst for this Saints offense.
And you want a great wrestler in the face-off circle to get down and dirty, because that is often what it takes to come out of there with the all-important possession and the ground ball. After that face-off win by DeLonga when he stick-checked it away from Moore, Limestone working it on offense. Saints have gotten to the most ground balls, but find themselves down by a goal. This is Roger Weiss dodging in on the right side, approaching 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Quickly down to Joe on the sideline.
Lewis, who leads the team in goals, he came off the field. We have no official word from the LeMoyne trainers, but they have been side by side with him for quite a while. It appears he got his bell rung right there, and it was a wicked hit from Clint Pitts. As we carry along with a D2 finals action, LeMoyne in front by 1, 3-2 in Baltimore.
The Archdiocese logo in the 40s when LeMoyne College was founded as a Jesuit institution in 1941. Hence the dolphin in Syracuse, New York. It doesn't seem to fit.
No, it doesn't.
Neither does an orange.
It's amazing. You see more lacrosse we've covered. This is our 8th game, I believe, on the men's side.
Randolph down low, tied again. Jason Randolph finally gets in tight. He has had some good looks for Limestone. Takes it low on Corcoran and ties it again at 3-3.
Just an individual isolation move from the wing. No help. You see Corcoran leaves his feet. and the seam is created. You got to wonder why there was no help there defensively.
At the end of that play, Travis Tarr was behind the goal explaining to the defense, you were supposed to slide there, you were supposed to slide there. The sophomore All-America defender trying to guide the rest of his teammates. Tied for the third time today. You're tied at 1, 2, and now evened up at 3-all in the Division II championship.
I was saying just about the tempo, Carter. We've seen about 8 games on the men's side this year. The tempo varies in college, of course. You never know what you're going to expect. We've seen up and down games, seen high-scoring games, and this game's more like a tension-filled pitcher's battle where every possession is magnified, every shot or every goal could be huge.
Every goal has been huge so far. A couple of extra man goals got us started, but now the cracks in the defense are starting to be exposed. Spillett trying to find one for Limestone. They have to pass out of it. They slide, so Spillett gets it back. In the middle, Spillett gets a shot off, but Gray the save. Transition for Limestone, something the Saints have not been able to do much today.
So you watch Clint Pitts play defense, and you realize that his footwork is what separates him. He's got a great drop step, very quick and agile, can change directions. It's almost like being a cornerback in football when you cover a wide receiver. You know, drop step, boom, change directions to play that, you know, that press coverage, and that's what defenders basically do. Too often we focus on the stick and not the feet.
Footwork is the key. Reichel showing off some footwork, gets some help from Travis Tarr. He comes out to stick check that one away. Tarr way out from goal, 25 yards away. Usually a close defender right on the crease, but they're trying to use him more aggressively out on the perimeter. Wooster behind the cage, gets a nice screen. David Wooster looking for the feed, but he'll pull it back out and set up the invert from behind the cage. 3 ties. Wooster backing in, shot low. Corcoran with another nice save for LeMoyne. 9 saves now for the sophomore goalie for the Dolphins, Jared Corcoran.
That was a nice save in that he didn't give up a rebound. Anytime you can make the save and catch the ball as opposed to just being a blocker, it's worth a little extra.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first half and a timeout for LeMoyne in a tie game, 3-3. The defense continues to impress.
Travis Tarr stepping out, extending his matchup. Can cover anybody. And then the goaltender, Corcoran. Look at his head and his eyes. Focused on that ball, not going to let it squirt away. He controls his rebound. LeMoyne has the ball, and they call timeout.
Keeping it in a tight defensive game, 3-3.
We get the slide set up, and you guys don't need we're just going to play this out, so be ready for them to come back down with something. All right? Again, we got to get support from the shorties if they're going to dodge the ball. All right, you guys, they're in a just a stack up there. All 4 of them, we can get help. If we're going to give up a 15-yard shot, that's acceptable. But we can't allow him to come underneath Kevin Cole where he's supposed to be beat and not get him support. All right, doing a good job, you got to put it together. You got to put that final piece together, man. Keep it up here. Let's go.
After we've handed out the D2 trophy, an extended version of Tourney Talk. It's Adam Zucker, Greg Amsinger, Paul Carcaterra, plus Quint and Joe here from Baltimore, fielding your calls at 877. Go to CSTV. If you want to be part of Tourney Talk, simply call in. Tourney Talk is coming up next.
Come on, Lacrosse Nation. I want those questions. We're going to be here for quite a bit. You got Paul Carcaterra, one of the Orange faithful up in New York. Send your questions in. Come on, call. Let's talk for a bit.
Joe, what do they have to say in the huddles?
Well, it's all about movement, ball movement, Carter. For the LeMoyne side, when they get the ball, they want to take some time. They want to wait a little bit, and then Dan Sheehan was diagramming a very, very detailed play. But they want to sit on it a little bit here, very, very late in the first half in a tie game. On the Limestone side, it's all about T.W. Johnson's gang getting the ball back and then working some moves off dodges. They want to dodge.
Now let's see if Limestone can get that ball back before they can think about dodging to the cage. LeMoyne LeMoyne has showed excellent patience, just as Dan Sheehan said he was proud of his team. It takes a lot when you've scored a lot of goals during the regular season to slow things down in these championship events.
When I talked to Coach Sheehan about Limestone, he said, hey, they got 3 guys with over 55 points. We've got to play a mistake-free game. We've got to take away some of their possessions through our long possessions.
And obviously LeMoyne trying to extend this possession right up to halftime. They don't want to give Limestone another chance.
Invert scenario. It's when the midfielders take the ball behind. The other player stationed in front.
Across on the right side, LeMoyne takes back the lead. Ed Street, the freshman midfielder with just his 6th goal of the season, gives Limestone a 4-3 advantage just before halftime. Gives LeMoyne the 4-3 advantage just before the half.
The invert defense. Limestone's a little confused inside, and you see the ball movement, the rotation to find the open man. I tell you, that is textbook, the tail end. Great passing. Rosecrans down low to Street. Excellent, excellent, excellent execution. It starts with the invert. The defense had the double. They were out of sorts. And then the ball movement capitalized. They find the open man for the high percentage shot.
So yes, it is LeMoyne taking that 1-goal lead. That's going to be a procedure call. Kicked out of there off the face-off, giving the ball to Limestone with just over 30 seconds remaining in the first half. David Wooster has not been a factor so far offensively for Limestone. Travis Tarr and the LeMoyne defense have really shut down the 2nd leading point scorer at the Division II level. Randolph behind the cage for Limestone, moving in. Tries the dodge on the outside. The roll, but Corcoran is there for the save. 7 seconds left as LeMoyne brings it back with a 1-goal advantage. Looking for one last shot before the half. Evans gets it off, misses wide. And at the end of a defensive struggle, LeMoyne finds a way to sneak home goal number 4. 3 goals in the first half. That's the lowest goal total in a half this season for the Limestone College Saints.
4 different goal scorers for LeMoyne. Spillett, Trowbridge, Reichel, and Street. But Limestone's clearly being taken out of their comfort zone. This is a team that wants to run and gun. They want to put up big numbers. LeMoyne has dictated and controlled tempo.
And yet, Limestone down a goal at the half. Let's check in with Joe and LeMoyne head coach Dan Sheehan.
Carter, much appreciated. Dan, what were your reactions when you saw the tempo of this game? It seems like it would be to your liking.
As far as the slowdown, you know, I think we can adjust to pretty much anything. I think the first 7 to 9 minutes, the kids are trying to get the jitters out. But after that, you know, we just got to be patient. We got to take our looks and just can't do anything foolish. Fundamental lacrosse is what it's going to come down to today.
A 1-goal game and something we may have expected. Thanks for the knowledge. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That's Dan Sheehan, the head coach for LeMoyne. The Dolphins with a 1-goal advantage at the break, and we send it back upstairs to Carter.
Thank you, Joe. 4-3, LeMoyne leading Limestone in the Division II Lacrosse Championship game. The second of our doubleheader here on CSTV Lacrosse. Please stick around and join us for the second half. But now to the CSTV Fieldhouse, and here is Greg Emsinger. LeMoyne up a goal.
Greg.
Charlie, let's go, baby. Let's go.
This exclusive presentation of the NCAA.
Definitely beside the still waters.
Going to be the difference. What do you think the difference has been so far, giving LeMoyne the 1-goal advantage?
I think the fact that LeMoyne's got some goals from some pretty unsung guys. You look down their scoring list, and it's Spillett, Lewis, Holdridge, and then Trowbridge. But when you get a goal from a guy like Reichel and a goal by Street, Ed Street, only his 6th goal of the season, that typically is a good sign.
And LeMoyne wins the opening face-off of the second half. The Dolphins in the green and white. In their first ever NCAA championship game in any sport, Limestone in the blue for the 5th straight year. The Limestone College Saints from Gaffney, South Carolina, are in the Division II title game. Holdridge down the goal line, extended for LeMoyne. Feeds back out to Tolowecki. And LeMoyne will try the other side. This is how LeMoyne won in the semifinals versus defending national champ New York Tech, by slowing the ball down and capitalizing when they get the chances. Spillett with his second goal. And LeMoyne opens up the biggest lead of this game for either team. Now 2 goals at 5-3.
Spillett from Trowbridge. Little throwback play where Trowbridge vacated that area with the ball. Spillett then stepped to space, was able to plant his feet and let go a real cannon of a shot. The only multiple goal scorer here this afternoon.
Not even 1 minute into the second half, and LeMoyne takes a 2-goal advantage. Joe Beninati's on the sideline. What do these teams have to say at halftime, Joe?
You know, Carter and Quint, you guys should be covered in pine tar for those awful comments before the half. I was talking with D.W. Johnson. He looked at the scoreboard and said, boy, we haven't been in anything like this at the half. They wanted ball movement, and they wanted high shots. On the LeMoyne side, Dan Sheehan is loose as a goose. He said he wouldn't change a thing with the first half. In fact, he looked at me and said, do you have any suggestions? So, Quint, get your write-in ballot ready.
Maniacal. I'm still stuck on maniacal.
Oh, 0 angle, and 2 penalty flags come up. Wooster gets that goal. We'll see if it stands. Goal scorers. Wooster was shoved into the crease, so no crease violation. And David Wooster, a little over a week after his father has passed away, makes this game 1 goal.
5 goals against Mercyhurst 2 days after his father passed away. He's got his true family in Maryland, but this team is his other family. They rallied around him last week. Can they do the same thing here today?
Wooster now with 50.